All right, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here with me today. So, when we're not grounded or connected to the earth energetically, it impacts us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So today I want to talk with you about what it means to be grounded, why we want to be grounded, what's in it for us, and share some really simple grounding exercises with you. My name is Julie Fowler, and I'm coming to you today from Ashland, Massachusetts, pretty close to where most of you are. I'm an advanced practitioner and certification program faculty member of the Eden Method. I have a private practice, seeing clients remotely and in person when times allow, as well as teach classes around the US and in the UK. The work I'll be sharing with you today is based on ancient healing traditions that have been around for thousands of years. So these ideas are not new at all. When we're thinking about what can we do to stay healthy and strong and vibrant right now, there's a lot of discussion about getting outside in the fresh air and exercising, eating healthy food, maybe taking supplements to stay healthy, making sure our nutrition is really solid. We talk about yoga and meditation as ways to support our body and our minds, but rarely is there a lot of conversation around working with the subtle energies in our body and balancing our energy to stay really healthy and strong and vibrant. And that's what I'm going to talk with you about today. Working with our energy is an important piece of that puzzle, and it's just as important as the nutrition and the yoga and the exercise and the food that we eat. Staying grounded will help us feel calmer, more stable, and build resiliency. And I know I'm looking for all of those things right now. So what is grounding? Grounding is actually our connection with the earth. When we as humans are grounded, we're designed to have a natural exchange of energy, with energy coming up from the ground and energy being released into the ground. So it's this ebb and flow coming in and releasing. But we also, in order to be grounded, need to have really deep roots. We need to be solidly rooted into the ground. Why? Why do we want to be so grounded? Like, what is the benefit for us? Well, think about yourself as a tree, if you would, for a moment, in a windstorm. And so the tree is swaying back and forth as the wind's blowing maybe 50 to 100 miles an hour, and you're really being tossed around. The storm stops, and our hope is that we can come back as trees to center and still be standing. If you look at this picture of a tree, this is what we want to be. We want to be solid and deeply rooted and balanced. And one of the tools for that is grounding. When we're grounded and deeply rooted, we can withstand life's blows, just like that tree in the storm can stand solid when the storm passes. We feel more resilient and much less anxious. And there's a lot of angst out there in the energy right now. We can better handle whatever it is that's happening in our lives, moment to moment and day to day, which is constantly changing. And we infuse our lives with much greater health and more joy and happiness. And lastly, which I think is so important, in addition to being more stable ourselves and being to withstand the blows, we're more stable to support those people around us that we're trying to help on a day-to-day basis. When my kids were little, we went hiking and we went bushwhacking in the White Mountains of New Hampshire up the side of a mountain. And my youngest daughter who had multiple life-threatening food allergies at the time, had never been stung by bees. And of course, she was the one that jumped on a beehive inadvertently. And the bees came, filled her shirt, were stinging her every which way. My husband and I chased after her to try and help her. He was more successful. I landed in a ditch face down with my legs in the air. After my husband got me out of the ditch, he grabbed the kids and was heading down the mountain. And it was determined I'd meet them at some point, somewhere, so that he could take care of our daughter. And I knew my descent was going to be a lot slower after my fall. Looking back now, as I stood at the side of that mountain, looking at the potential descent I had, the steep side, I felt pretty angsty as I looked at that. It was like, wow, I'm all by myself and I've got to get down this mountain. And as I thought about it, as I was preparing for this, I thought, wow, it's not really unlike the challenges that we're all facing every day right now. The unknown and the steep slope that some of us are facing. If I had been alone on the side of that mountain, I know I would have just tumbled and landed at the bottom. But I actually wasn't alone because I was surrounded by the trees. And those trees, they look different one to the next, just like we're all different. Some had deep, strong roots, and they were able to support me as I leaned on them on my way down the mountain for support, and they held my weight happily. Others may have looked strong, but they weren't able to hold my weight, and when I leaned on them, we both tumbled because they were just struggling to maintain their own stability and couldn't offer me any support. This is the same thing that we're all facing now. We need to be strong for ourselves, and we need to be strong to help the people around us. And one of the easiest ways is to be grounded. And so today I'm going to share with you some super simple and some of my favorite grounding exercises in energy medicine, so that we can develop nice, strong, deep roots like this tree. The first exercise is one that I shared with you last week, and we're going to start there because we want to create space for energy to move, and we want to release some of that stress so we can more easily ground. And it's also a grounding exercise for that reason. So stand with me, and I'm going to go through all of these at a pace that you can do it along with me. And just find a spot where you can move your arms and circle them around you. So rub your hands together and place them on your thighs. And imagine sending that energy down into the earth through your feet. And imagine your feet are sinking into the sand, warm sand or soft moss or grass or even the dirt in your garden, whatever earth feels good for you. And let's just take a nice breath here. In through our nose and out through our mouth. And one more breath. You're going to draw your hands up by your side with your elbows next to your body. And you're going to invite into the palms that are facing up all the stress, frustration, anger, anything you're feeling today that you want to release. And we're going to gather that and close our hands. And when we do this exercise, we're going to move energy with our hands and with sound. And the sound is going to be that of shh, like you're asking somebody to be quiet. Shh. So go ahead and circle your arms around, up over your head, and we're going to drop our hands, and when they get to the bottom, we're going to open them and release all that frustration and stress with the sound shh. And we're going to come back up, and we're going to gather more of that stuff, and And we're going to close our hands and know that we can just let it all go. And circle your arms up over your head and really put some energy into this release. And we're going to come back up again and fill those hands and circle them around. And know that the earth is recycling all that you're releasing into something beautiful. And one last time, invite any last spit into those hands. Hold them, and we're going to come down slowly and with intention. Awesome. Doesn't that feel good to let it go? All right, now we're going to do some grounding through our feet. You can do this with socks on. I love to do it barefoot, but it's totally up to you. So pick a foot, any foot, it doesn't matter which foot you start with. I'm going to start with my right foot. You're going to take your hands and you're going to spread your foot apart on the bottom of your foot, spreading your heel away from the ball of your foot. You're creating space for energy to move. Space has to be created so the energy can flow. You're going to push in at this point here. It's between your second and third toes as you drop down beyond the ball of the foot. This is a kidney point, kidney 1, the first point on kidney meridian. And you're going to stretch it. Just right here at the ball of the foot. And you're going to rub it. And this is where we draw energy in from the earth. Meridians are one of our 9 energy systems, and they're energy pathways that serve all the organs and systems in the body. Flip your foot over. We're going to go into the spaces between the bones, the metatarsal space, between the metatarsals. We're going into that webbing. And you're going to push in deeply, and you're going to pull the energy off your toe. It might be tender in there, and that's just stuck energy. The more you do this, the less tender it'll feel, and the happier your feet will be. We have 14 meridians in the body, and many of them have beginning or end points here on the feet. And as we open the feet and create space for energy to move, we're improving the flow and function of those meridians. Give your foot a squeeze, starting up at the ankle and working your way down. And then flip your foot back over and grab your spoon. You're going to make figure 8s on the bottom of your foot with your spoon. This is adjusting your magnetic polarity to the earth so that you can actually connect with the earth's energy. Because what happens when you take 2 north sides of a magnet and try and put them together? They repel, right? It's the same for our body to the earth. If we don't align our magnetic polarities, which this helps to do, we can't actually connect with the earth. Now I want you to stand and feel and tell me, does that foot feel the same as your other foot? Or does it feel different? If it feels different, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, that's what being grounded feels like. Let's do the other foot. So spread the ball of your foot away from the heel, create space. And you're going to rub that K1 point, the first point on kidney meridian. Stretch it and rub it. And then flip your foot and you're going into that space between the metatarsal bones again. And you're going in deeply and you're pulling that energy down and off your toes. And I promise you, if it's tender, it will get less tender each day that you do it. Pull it off the toes. I think my foot needs a manicure or pedicure. Give a squeeze all the way down. When we're squeezing here, we're connecting into spleen meridian, which runs on the side of the foot where the big toe is, and bladder meridian, which is on the side of the toe, side of the foot where the little toe is. And this is where we release energy into the earth. We take it in here at kidney, and we release it back into the earth through bladder. Now grab your spoon. And we're going to make figure eights here on the bottom of the foot, aligning our magnetic polarity to the earth so that we can ground and pull the energy up. Now go ahead and feel your feet on the floor. They should feel the same. You should feel solid and connected and grounded. Awesome. Now, believe it or not, working with your hands in the same way is also grounding. So you're going to start by using your thumb and rubbing, pushing deeply the palms of your hands from your wrist all the way up to your fingers and pulling the energy off your fingers. And just like on the foot, and then flip your hand and go into those spaces between the metacarpal bones. So here, and being gentle, that you're not pushing down on your bones that could be delicate, you're going into the space between the bones and pulling the energy off your fingers. This is great to support all the meridians that running through your hands, and there's many of them. It's also great for just calming, because you're releasing a lot of stuck energy, which is always calming. Now feel that hand. Does that hand feel the same as the other hand? Give me a thumbs up if it feels different. Yeah, this is what we want our hands to feel like. Let's do the other one. It's great if you've got arthritis or to prevent arthritis, because it moves that stuck energy out of your hands. And if you spend a lot of time on electronic devices, computers, phones, whatever it is, keep that energy moving through your hands. And go in as deeply as you can, and don't hurt yourself. You wake up in the middle of the night and you don't feel as calm as you might like to, work on your hands. Release some of that excess energy. Good. Now we have happy hands. Now we're going to talk to stomach meridian, one of our 14 pathways. Stomach meridian starts right underneath the eyes, and it shoots down through the body and ends on your second toe, right next to your big toe. The energy comes off and grounds you into the earth through this toe here. So we're going to tap on our cheekbones, right under the eyes. And we're going to shoot that energy down to help ground us. Stomach meridian is also about worry. So if you feel worried ever, you can tap your cheekbones and send that worry out into the earth. Let's take a nice breath in through the nose here. And out through the mouth. And let's let go of anything we're worried about. Next, we're going to connect two meridians together. So take middle finger of either hand, put it on your third eye, space between your eyebrows. Middle finger of your other hand goes right in your belly button. You're going to push in on both of those and you're going to pull up like you're hooking them. Now, while you hold that position, I'm going to let go and step back, and I'm going to show you what we're actually doing while you hold. So you stay with it. You have a meridian that runs up the front of your body from the pubic bone up to your bottom lip. And another, that's called central meridian. On the back side, you have a meridian called governing meridian. It starts, runs up your spine, over your head, and ends at your top lip. When you hold this, you're holding a point on central meridian and a point on governing meridian. When they connect, they create what they call in Chinese medicine a microcosmic orbit. And it brings radiance and healing into the body. You will feel, you have the capacity to feel more joy, and your body has greater healing capacity. And how easy is this, right? So we're just going to sit with that for a minute. And the microcosmic orbit is literally a loop of energy that runs around your body, and it helps ground you into the earth. Awesome. Next, we're going to do a Wayne Cook exercise. One of my favorites. You can stay sitting. I'm just going to back up so you can see my feet. Take your right ankle and you're going to place it over your left knee. Can everyone see me okay, I hope? Take your right hand and you're going to hold the ball of your foot. So you're kind of squeezing your bunion. You've got fingers holding onto your little toe and your big toe area and the flat of your palm on the ball of your foot. Take your left hand and put it on your ankle. So it's going underneath your other hand. We're going to take a nice breath in through our nose, straighten our spine, and relax. As we straighten our spine on the in-breath, we're allowing energy to flow up our spine. And release your breath and relax. And another breath in. And straighten your spine. And relax. We'll take one more on this side. Breathe in. Notice where you're holding your hands. We're holding on spleen meridian along your big toe side. That supports your immune system. We're holding our little toe, which is bladder meridian, which helps us release energy. And it's also all about our nervous system. And our palm is right on top of K1 where we draw energy in. We'll do the same thing on the other side. You'll take your left ankle, place it on your right knee. Your right hand on your left ankle, and your left hand holding the ball of your foot. Take a nice breath in. This helps to integrate our front brain and our back brain so we can think more clearly. Nice breath in. And it helps us to handle our emotions. It's calming and grounding. And one more. I'm going to come closer so you can see what I'm going to do with my hands. You're going to put them together. Your thumbs at your third eye, between your eyebrows, fingers together. And we're going to take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And you're going to curl your fingers together at your forehead, and you're going to drag them across deeply. Shake them off. And come into your heart center for a moment, and let's just close our eyes and think of something we're feeling really grateful for in the moment. I'm going to have you join me standing one last time. We're going to end with another favorite of mine, connecting heaven and earth. Hands together on our thighs, grounding our feet back into that happy place of warm sand, soft moss, whatever it may be for you. We're going to circle our arms around, coming back into our heart center. Bend of the knees and a deep stretch, reaching straight up and stretching, flat palm to the heavens, flat palm to the earth. And back to heart center. And on the other side, we're stretching all of our meridians. We're supporting our immune system. The function of all of our meridians are improved with room for the flow to move. Back to heart center. You can look up at the heavens, you can look down at the earth, and you come back to center. And one last time on this side. Back to heart. And we're going to bend over and relax. Just let yourself hang. Take a nice breath in. And as you release your breath, notice if you don't go a little lower to the ground. And breathe in. And release a little lower to the ground. And we're going to do some figure eights as we work our way back up the body. These figure eights help us to integrate our energy systems. One of the very, very best ways to be grounded is to spend time barefoot on the earth. And when my kids were really little, I didn't know this. And I would say every time they were getting ready to go outside, you know, put your shoes on. And they like to be barefoot because they're kids. They're smart. They know what's good for them, right? And then I learned all about grounding and earthing. And I'm like, for gosh sakes, take your shoes off. It's like, Mom, which is it? Shoes on, shoes off, shoes on, shoes off. Make up your mind. So I've made up my mind. It's shoes off. So if you go out to grab the mail and you're going to be back in like 2 minutes, that's not grounding. Grounding is when you spend time out there, 30 minutes, an hour, like time on the earth. Have as much of your body on the earth as you can. Lay down in the grass, lay in the sand, hug a tree. That's all really grounding. So I am Julie Fowler from Ashland, Massachusetts. I hope you found this helpful. You can visit my website at simplyenergyllc.com for additional course offerings. I see clients privately, remotely right now, normally in person as well. Thank you, Donna, for inviting me into the Gentle Place community. And thank you to all of you for being here with me today. Namaste. Have a fabulous day.